good evening. Welcome to Coffee Talk. My apologies that I haven't been on in several days. Um, Hello, Stephanie. Thank you for coming. My apologies that I haven't been on for several days. Life and things happening. Hello, Uncle Al. Welcome. KP Heathen, my friend. Welcome. And I am drinking coffee. Donut shop coffee with French vanilla creamer. A new cup given to me by my bank. They gave me a cup and a gift card when I took out my loan for my travel trailer. Life is good, but it is what it is. Things happen. Uncle Al, we're going to go with the topics that you gave me the last time, which I hadn't used. So we'll be talking about the weather and certain things. And I will try to stick to a script if I can. Need to say a few things about how life's been going. I had my birthday yesterday, 63 years old. 63. It's not old age, but it's not like young. And met with a friend for breakfast this morning. I've known him for over 20 years. We used to be school administrators together, and we've been friends. And he's retired now. He's 75, so he's got a little bit on me. He recently took a trip, and he's real excited about what all they did and where they went, and you know, mom of 4 boys. Hello, Rachel. My wife had me outside earlier helping her, and said, you're going to have me miss another live stream. I said, you're going to get me tired out. She had me moving planters, large planters that had dirt and full of dirt, buckets or whatever you want to call them, and moving that stuff around for her. I'm not as strong as I used to be. I can't do what I used to do. So, anyway, a little talk about the channel real fast. I'm at 1,895. I was at 1,896, but I lost one. So I'm at 1,895. Getting close to 1,900. If you haven't done commenting on the videos, leaving likes, I think I have about 19 people on this last video that I just released recently. 19 people. So maybe upwards of 19 people that'll be in the drawing. And I am drinking coffee. A donut shop, a light to medium roast. Using my new Keurig. Putting some French vanilla creamer in it. And I do say life is good. Melinda Elliott. How are you doing, young lady? And I believe JC came by. Thank you, JC. told my wife and my kid yesterday. I says I stopped celebrating birthdays at 40, and they did it cheesy. Um, he sung "Happy Birthday" to me. I uploaded it as a short, the cake and them singing. Um, it was a good birthday. I had nice meatloaf. I love meatloaf. You know, meatloaf with the trimmings. Went over to Aldi today. Bought stuff that I needed for this coming week, and that's not actually for the whole week, but that's part of the week. It's like a two. I go about spend about $75, and sometimes I go about twice a week. Um, I uploaded. It'll get a good number of views. It seems like my SHTF prepping my haul videos and some of the water videos and various things they get pretty good views. You'd think I have a cookie channel for all the food that I upload. I'm always uploading food. Joshua Moore or Joseph, excuse me, what I'm saying, Joshua. I keep mixing up people. Um, Joseph Moore and the Bud Files. Thank you for coming. Creative redundancy. How's it going, CR? So I had to reboot my aid, rebooted and checked my MacBook, so it should be working properly. Um, I've been taking it to school. It's been very hectic. They've been borrowing her to sub other classes, cover classes, because she's going to be teaching this next year in her own class. And I haven't got my new printer uploaded yet, as far as where I could use it. I'm letting her unbox it. It's one where you basically have little tanks that you pour in the. It's an Epson photo quality printer, and you can pour in your color dyes for the various. It's got 4 different colors. It's got the 3 for color, and it's got the black tank for regular print. And I'm gonna let her set that up, and then I'll bring it home and set it up after she's got it and it's got everything loaded up on it. I ordered a new thumb drive, which I got in today. It's got a little place where you can hang it from a keychain if you want. It This would be for a PC. This is a thumb drive for a PC. I need to order a thumb drive for my Mac, which is a C. Loads into a C port. This is a USB for a regular, pay like $11 for that, Amazon. Little Lone Prepper, hello Little Lone Prepper. How are you doing? As Uncle Al mentioned, we've got about a month until the start of summer. 1 month until we start summer. Are you prepared for weather? Tornadoes, sudden thunderstorms. We're having thunderstorms here. We're having rain here. It rained today. Weather did not predict it was going to rain today, but it rained today. Several times it rained today. It's been very cloudy, very volatile. Pre-retirement days. Welcome pre-retirement days. I was talking to my friend. He was telling me about changes, Social Security and such. And I told him, I said, well, I need 6 more quarters. I'll have my 40 quarters in because I get my retirements through teacher retirement. That's Texas. So I put my 30 in, and so now I'm paying, and I'm still working. I'm getting paid as a teacher, but I'm not paying into teacher retirement. I'm paying in Social Security now, and then I already had some quarters from before I started teaching or started in education, and then I've worked since retiring before I went back into teaching. There was a 3.5 year period there where I worked for Walmart, what they call a team lead. So as I said, my new coffee cup, the bank gave it to me when I took out my loan. They gave me that, and they gave me a gift card. I don't even know what's on the gift card. I haven't even looked at it yet, but I got a gift card from Walmart. I'm drinking a light to medium roast donut shop with French vanilla creamer. Made it my new Keurig. SD Mountain Man, Scott. SD was in Austin here recently. He came down to visit, I think he came down to visit some relatives. And, I guess he didn't know. So maybe we could get together. I said, well, let's see, where are you at? And then I Googled where he was at. Oh, that's a 2.5 hour drive. So it was one of those things like he was coming down, I think over the weekend, but he was going to be like leaving Tuesday. And it's like, well, I work, So I said, well, maybe not this time. But I thanked him for the thought. And Scott is a great guy. He's got a great channel. Trying to help him get to 1,000 subscribers. And Uncle Al had pointed out that I had possibly been offensive when I had made a comment about, like they do Fired Up Fridays, and they'll use flint and steel. They take pride, like first strike, And back in the day, everything was flint and steel. They didn't have matches. Matches have been around for maybe 150 years or less. Either striking a match or whatever. And I said, well, I get the little Walmart, you get like several hundred of them for $1. And I said, I just strike a match, or I'll use, worst comes to worst, I use a lighter. But I do have flint and steel. So in an emergency, I guess I could use it, but I got tinder and everything. Matter of fact, Scott sent me a emergency, like an Altoid tin with stuff in it, at one time, and part of it was some fire starter and don't know if you remember that, Scott, but yeah, that was a long time ago. You sent me something, but anyway, Bluebonnet Festival. Okie doke. So, as Uncle Al said, um, we're about a month off from summer. Summer will start, and when summer starts, hurricane season starts. And stormy weather, tornadoes. We're already having. There are already tornadoes. That we are in tornado territory. There've already been tornadoes all over. There have been some bad tornadoes, killed some people. Thunderstorms. Whenever you have warmer weather and cooler weather coming together, you can very easily have storms. Um, there are places where flash floods. Better not be living in a low-lying area. Better not be going out into low-lying areas. You got to watch out, flash floods. Hurricane season. Are you prepared? Do you have your emergency supplies? Do you have a week's worth of bottled water? Do you have a week's worth of canned food? Do you have your medications? Do you have flashlights and batteries? Do you have a means to heat water, like a little camp stove, something that'll burn, like maybe a propane stove, something to burn propane? Do you have some emergency lighting? You gotta think about that emergency medical kit with for the boo-boos and the various things. There could be. Yes, hail. You can have hail. I just got my insurance pack. I always ask for stuff in writing. They want to send you stuff electronically, but I'm old school. I want print. So this is my policy, progressive policy on my new travel trailer. And I got full coverage on everything. It's covered in case something happens. I pray I don't have to use it, but you never know. All right, evacuation routes. Do you know your evacuation routes? Where you need to go to get away from, we are 20 miles inland at an elevation of about 100 feet. 20 miles from the Gulf. And I used to live in Corpus Christi, and I used to live about a mile inland. There, in Corpus Christi, I was about a mile off from the water where I live, my street. We used to get hurricanes. Corpus Christi, we get hurricanes. Weather patterns are a little bit off, different. Seems more like hits into Florida, hits into northeast Texas and Louisiana. That's pretty much been coming. Hurricane Harvey was about 8 years ago. The one time in the last 20 years that Victoria, Texas had a hurricane. And we were without water for about 4 or 5 days, and I was without electrical power for about a week. Here's another thing. You need funds. You need emergency funds. You need to be saving. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you really need some backup. You need to start saving money. And you need emergency funds for the next 18 months to 2 years. A family of 4, you're going to be put, with the way the economy is ever since Biden completely jacked things up. There was Obama hurt us in 8 years. And then Trump came in, he tried to level things out, and he did some good stuff. But then Biden came in, and then inflation and all the money they've been printing, all the money they've been spending, all the deficit spending, the debt. We're now like $37 trillion. Uh, so you need an extra $5,200 a year for a family of four. Um, Biden really caused a recession. He did. And if Trump hadn't come in, we'd be looking at probably a depression. We had the Great Depression back in the 20s, 100 years ago. It's been 100 years now. Nobody really alive today remembers it. But the stock market crash of 29, that Black Thursday. Um, you know, you need money. Uncle Al's always talking about um, having money on you. Well, I mean, I usually carry at least 10 ones, some fives. I'm all the time, giving my wife rolls of quarters, small bills. You need to have some money set away someplace, secured, like if you have a safe. And you need cash. I was at a Mexican taqueria a week or so back to get breakfast tacos. Right now, you're getting them for I can get them for like $2 a piece. So I'll get a taco for me, and I'll get a taco for my two parents. Pay like $6. And their machine wasn't working. Their card reader wasn't working. Do you have cash? Yes, I have cash. I gave her cash. And that can happen. That can happen a lot more widespread than just in some little location you go to. Vending machines. A lot of the vending machines take quarters, they take dollar bills. Some of the old school vending machines that are still out there. It's important. And it's important that you build up reserves. Something happens to you and you're unemployed. Can you afford to keep making your payments? Can you pay your rent or your mortgage? You pay your utilities. Think about it. Yes, hail. Yes, I'm so sorry, Rachel. Oh, this crap about, you get these kids today, they play these video games, and they start talking about zombies and the zombie apocalypse and all this bull. And a lot of people don't believe that the Lord rose, Son of God. Um, they found some text. I was looking at a clip on it. They're all the time going into buildings where they've got old documents and old books and various scrolls and such. They're always finding stuff that they didn't that had been placed or lost, or that people didn't even know were there. So there was a manuscript that was written about 90 AD. 90 AD would have been about 60-ish years after the Lord's ministry. The last book of scriptures that's the canon of the Bible, the book of the Revelation of John, Revelations, I think that was written around 95 AD. So it was somewhere around, John was an old man, and John had been a very young man as an apostle, and he was a very advanced age, probably in his 80s. And but there was a manuscript that was written by a historian, and he was talking about Jesus and Jesus's ministry, and about Christianity, and about the, he knew, and he was writing about it, which is another confirmation of the reality of what happened. Jesus was not a zombie. The resurrection was not a zombie. That was the power of God. So, 7 in the house, and looks like 12 likes. 13 likes. And good coffee. Nice cup. Very nice cup. It was a gift from the bank when I took out my loan. They gave me that, and they gave me a gift card. Hadn't even opened the gift card. They had already, guess they put some money on it. I don't know what they put on it. No fees, no expiration. Guess it had been activated. It doesn't say how much is on it. Then I got my paperwork on my RV. Tags should be coming in. They have to go get the final tags, the permanent tags. I can go get registration through them. I don't have to go downtown to the tax office for that in the future. Then after we use it a couple of times, we'll winterize it. I mean, when it comes to winter, they'll winterize it and they'll blow out the lines and everything for us. Pecan coffee. Well, that's good. Hope you, yep, Guadalupe River. Um, yeah, pecan coffee. That would be Speedy Stop. They do pecan coffee. uh, thank you, my friend. Dave is in the house. Well, did you hit 10,000 yet, Dave? I'm still working on 1900, son. $10.1K. Will you go with your bad self? Blessings to you. I'll be happy if I can hit 2,000 in the next 15 or 20 years. I'm drinking coffee from a mug given to me at the bank. Nice mug. Nice ceramic mug. Really nice mug. Nice heavy duty mug. I will probably eat some of the leftovers from the meal yesterday. Wife made a huge meatloaf. I love meatloaf. So, went to Audi, uploaded a haul video showing what I purchased, about $75. And those videos tend to get about 1,000 views. So, I mean, I go over there once or twice a week. They get good views. And the price of gasoline's been fluctuating. Right now it's going for about $2.60 a gallon. It was below $2.50 here a couple of weeks back. If you live out in the Socialist Republic of California, it's over $5 a gallon. The taxes. They've got a refinery getting ready to shut down out there. Another one of the refineries is going to shut. There's a lot of stuff moving out of state out in California. A lot of stuff moving. A lot of the big money corporations are moving out of state. They're going to be losing a couple of the big oil companies that are out there. Are moving. And they're losing a lot. They don't know what the hell's going on. They don't know what they're doing. The Pacific Palisades, which burned down something like 6,000 structures, homes, different businesses, whatever. 6,000. There have been no permits issued for any rebuilding projects. Not one. Just the BS, the bureaucracy. You know, they've got a mayor that looks, you know, when she looks at you, you think you're dealing with Forrest Gump. Gavin Newsom, God help us. God help the people of California, you know. And then they'll want they'll want the federal government to bail them out. And that's everybody's paying for their incompetence out there. $2.95 where you're at. Yeah, they're losing a big tax bait. Yes, meatloaf is good stuff. Thank you for liking the mug. I think Uncle Al and I are probably green with envy, because I can remember when your channel's smaller than mine. Back in the day when I was growing at about 100 subscribers a month, Dave was growing. I'd stay about 200 ahead of him. And then at one point, he got ahead of me. It was about 200 ahead of me, and I was following about 200 behind him. And then a few months ago, he just blew up. You know, just blew up. And in the last several months, he's went from a couple of thousand to like 10,000 now. They used to say good to the last drop. Well, good to the last drop. Now, when you say Dave, are you referring to Dave as in Yoda, or are you talking about me? I don't do Facebook. You got purged. Horrible. Horrible. Truly horrible. So, I am recommending, for what my recommendations are worth, that y'all make sure you've got a few cases of bottled water on hand. And frankly, I don't do Facebook. I was talking to some people. I don't do any. My only social media is YouTube. I don't do any of that other stuff. I've never done any of that other stuff. You'll never, you would never find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I didn't do MySpace when MySpace was the forerunner to Facebook. I didn't do any of that. And I've had a YouTube account for probably since about 2018, the year I retired. Now, I've always had an email account. I've got my YouTube. I use my Gmail account. I've got a personal email account. I've got a school email account for work. I text. I text. Occasionally, I have to do a Zoom call. I occasionally have to do, you know, but I don't do any of that social media stuff. And I don't TikTok. I don't have a TikTok account. I don't do any of that stuff. I have been thinking, well, because of my wife's health, and we've applied for her for disability, and she was denied it. And mind you, 4 surgeries for different stuff in the last going on 8 years. And she's got some serious ongoing health issues and takes a lot of medication. I'm thinking about going to a lawyer or a law firm to see if they can help me get disability on her. I'm also considering, when I go to that law firm, seeing about getting them to help me set up a GoFundMe for her medical. I put out a lot of money every month on her medical related. Money that if I was saving that money, I'd have a good chunk just from that. Every year I've been maxing out the out of pocket and her just what I pay on her insurance. Just so I'm really thinking about having a go setting up. She doesn't want me to do it. She doesn't want anybody to know, and she doesn't want me to do it. She doesn't talk about it with anybody. But I'm really thinking about doing it this summer. I'll be off for 2.5 months this summer, and I'm really thinking about doing that. I really am. Yeah, I know. I will tell you, like you think, well, you need a good attorney. Yes, I have an attorney. I've had the same attorney for like 30 years. He's getting old. He's in Corpus, where I moved from. And a few years ago, I had him do wills for me. I need to update that stuff and all. So I do need to find a new attorney up here that I can basically use for family law. And there's so much to do. There is so much to do and so much to be done. Yeah, and a lot, I've heard of people, you know, they got denied a couple of times and they went to an attorney, and then an attorney got them, and then they get like back, they get back payments from when they first applied, usually when they get accepted. If they were, you know, you go use an attorney and they get you back payments, and then usually the attorney, their price for doing that is they take the back pay money, and then you basically from once you start getting checks, then they're yours, but they get the back, you know, for their trouble. Um, Looking at, you know, the idea of disability, she'd actually get a little, you know, she'd get a little bit of money too. Disability checks, you know. I'm interested in her the insurance part to a large extent because I put out a lot on all those specialists and everything until you get your deductible in. And this is the first year that I really didn't get stuck, you know, where I had to put out major league money at the start of the year. She had all of her health stuff in the fall. Her latest round of, you know, from like September to December was just, you know, really bad. Um, yeah, I hear you. So, we will be coming into summer and hurricane season, which coincides in about a month. We're at the end of April. We'll be coming into May. And got about another month of school. School will be out in about a month. So it is important that we have a plan in place for emergencies. Where do you go? Where does the family go? Where do you gather together? Do the kids know what to do? Do you have packs for everybody? Do you have emergency food? Emergency supply of water? If you take maintenance medication, do you have a supply of that that you can have with you? It's very important. Do you have a good map of the area? You have an emergency radio, batteries, flashlights. It's very important that you have all these items. And if you don't have them, you need to start putting them together. And the other thing is prepping and preparedness. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's something that you do over a period of time. My wife is all about putting together a bag for our new son in law. I said, I've got a bag that I've been putting together. And then she was getting on my kid about her bag, you know. Well, you haven't looked through it and you haven't updated, you know. I said, I need to get her bag and I need to go through it, you know, and pull some stuff out and put some new stuff in and check to make sure everything's, you know, good to go. But my daughter just got her new concealed, well, it's a replacement concealed carry permit with her new married name, her husband's name, family name. But she's got to order one now, a new one, an update one for the next several years that's due in June. Her birthday's on the 26th of June, and she's got a couple of months to get that taken care of. She doesn't want it to expire on her. And then she said it'll take several months to get the replacement in, you know. And I said, oh, lovely. You know, you change your name, you know, woman changes her name, you got to get a new passport, you've got your identification, your social security, your driver's license, got to get all that stuff updated. Needs a new will. I was telling her about, you know, insurance or life insurance, and I need to. I want to have all the policies, instead of them coming out of my paycheck, I want to have them come out of my bank, and that way, if I change employment, you know, still working, I want to make sure that the payments, that I don't lose those policies. I can take them with me if I change jobs. Everybody's worried about what's going to happen with education. What's going to happen? Vouchers in Texas, the Department of Education being shut down or being scaled way back. Trump wants to end the Department of Education. Well, technically, he can gut it, but he can't. It's going to take Congress to do away with it. Congress will have to do away with it. He can't just do away with it. He can gut it out. He cannot. He can see that it doesn't have any money. But as far as ending it, that's an act of Congress. You know. And you know, it's just like that aid department that was basically putting out a lot of funny aid, you know, for a lot of DEI stuff, wanting to do an end of that. Again, he can gut it, which he's doing, cut way back on the staff, turn it over where the functions go to the State Department under Rubio, but he can't actually end it. It's got to be an act of Congress. Congress has to do that. And one thing bad about Medicare is that it doesn't have funds for chiropractor. They would rather pay a surgeon to slice and dice, even though a few visits to chiro and all better. Yeah. Yes, that's right. Be prepared. Be prepared. Need a rendezvous point. That's right, Uncle Al. A sat phone. Yeah. Eight in the house. 14 likes. Yeah, I think it was during the Carter administration. And then Reagan wanted to end it. He didn't, but he wanted to end it. There was a lot of stuff that Carter did that, may Carter rest in peace. There's a lot of stuff that Carter did that did not help us. Watch the shelves in 2 weeks. Yeah. I order a lot of my stuff from Amazon. I get a lot of my stuff from Sam's. I go to Audi. I'm basically an Audi, Walmart, Sam's, Amazon person when it comes to, you know, stuff. Tractor Supply for my feed. Enrique Trevino, welcome. Yeah, have a place to meet. Muster out. Well, if you check my post, I went down to the tax office yesterday afternoon after I got off work. They've done some new concrete work down there, and they've done a lot of concrete work down there downtown. And I was walking, and I guess my shoe went over a low point in the concrete joints, a little uneven, and I tripped, and I landed on my knees and my palms. And you can probably see right here on my palm where, you know, and I got a boo-boo on one of my knees. But that was not good. 3 Tylenols later. But I got through, and, you know, I was very subdued. Nobody came up to help me. One person passed by and said, "Whoa, bad fall." Well, I'm picking up my stuff, you know, my phone fell out of my pocket, and my pens, and I'm picking the stuff up that I got up, you know, shook off and checked to see if I'd ripped my pants. And I didn't rip my pants, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. But came home, and then they did the birthday with the food, and I said, and I got messed up where I didn't do the live stream. So I apologize. I've canceled a couple of live streams I was planning on having, and I apologize. Yeah, you gotta have a good first aid kit. So, mentioning again, I'm 5 short of 1900. And it's taken me forever to get that next 100 in. I'm very close now, but still a few away. I was at 96 and somebody canceled on me. I will hit 1900 sometimes in the near future, I'm sure. When I do, it will mean a 1900 subscriber giveaway. My boxes, you can look at my other boxes that I've given out. They're going to be about the same. There'll be a nice first aid kit and a bunch of little, you know, emergency stuff in it. Probably a selection of my hot sauces. Various little things that I use. And, you know, odds are going to be very good. It's not going to be that many people that are going to be in the hat. When I draw from the hat, there'll be 20-ish names, maybe less. I mean, the last time I checked, there was 19 people had commented on my last video. There were 19 comments. So, you know, the way I'll do is I'll write all those names down, and then I'll backtrack 4 additional videos, and I'll check to see are they still there. If they're not, cross them out. If they're there, check them off. And then whoever's left standing, their name goes in a hat, and when I do my video, which I'll be doing my video very soon afterwards, might be next weekend, and I'll film it. I'll do it, draw on the hat and all that sort of stuff, and whoever I draw is the winner. Uncle Al, I'm sure that 5K video giveaway will be great at some point in time. Now, if you were like Dave over there, you'd hit that 5K in a couple of days. You know, I was like, oh, I got 2,000 something. Don't worry, I'll be there in a couple of days. But if you're like regular folks, it might be a couple of years. You know, you never know. I'm sure you'll get there. A zombie neon green machete. Well, that's nice. Yeah, I mean, I could wake up in the morning and my, uh, sometimes in the last couple of weeks, there was one day I picked up seven new subscribers. So I just woke up in the morning and was like, well, by God. And I'd done a couple of those shorts. I'd done a couple of short videos. Each one of them had over 1,000 views. I think one of them had like 1,600. The other one had like 1,100. And just those got me seven new subscribers. You know, so I'm not out begging for subscribers. I'm not out doing that. When they come, they come. And you know, if somebody comes in and identifies themselves like, hey, I'm a new subscriber, and then I go and I check their channel and I'm not subscribed to them, I will subscribe them and I'll leave them a like in a comment and watch a couple of their videos, you know. And then it's like tit for tat. You know, we watch those who watch us. We give watch time to those who give us watch time. You know how that works, sort of thing. Our favorite, channels and such. 964 to 960. And that's another thing I will tell you. Sue the tax office. Yeah. I'm not one of those litigious persons that wants to sue. I was mentioned I was thinking about a GoFundMe for my wife for her health and for her medical bills and such. You know. I mean, in the last 8 years, ever since the wreck, where she almost died, and they had to do surgery on her. That and her medical, you know, situation, what runs in her family and such. And I'm not talking about diabetes, and diabetes runs in her family, but she's not diabetic. She doesn't have high blood sugar or anything at this point in her life. But there's some other stuff that runs in her family. Her older sister died at the age of 56 from it, you know. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not talking about cancer, you know. You mean to tell me you haven't heard the story about the wreck? My last year before I retired, I had been a principal 23 years. You know, you work, you retire usually 30 years. And the last 23 was as an administrator, different levels and different jobs in administration. Um, Towards the end of the school year, we were in driving, and my wife was driving, and a teenager, we were slowing down to make a turn, and we're out on the highway by the airport and slowing down to make a turn. Teenager wasn't paying attention, was on her phone texting, and slammed into us, probably doing 65, 70 miles an hour, and we were doing like 15. You know. And, you know, that was absolutely horrible. That's the Rick I'm talking about. Good night, Uncle Al. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you. Yeah, it was. It was horrible. Horrible situation. I will try to go and watch those videos. I'm behind. I haven't been over to your fired ups lately. You know, I haven't been. I have not visited Sean's channel, Shovelhead 8. You know, he figures I forgot about him. I hadn't. I've been catching a lot of shorts. People that I follow loads up shorts and such. I've been catching a lot of shorts that goes into my recommendeds. That's what I've been getting. A lot of shorts. So I'm off tomorrow. I'll plan on doing another live stream tomorrow. And we'll we'll see what we have in store for tomorrow. You know, I hit I hit the 1900. I'll do a 1900 subscriber giveaway. Do a video of it. Joseph Moore is going to be getting a follow-up box from me, but I'm going to rest this channel for about a month after I get this stuff taken care of. Let it rest. I've been told that'll be good, you know, for the algorithm or everything, and then I'll basically use the backup channel. I've got a bunch of stuff loaded up on the backup channel that I can start releasing. I haven't been doing it. I only have 60 subscribers on the backup channel. Most of you that follow me religiously, they're pretty close. And I'm subscribed to you on my backup channel, so you got like 2 subscriptions out of me. Most of you follow my backup channel. Not that I put much stuff out on it. I've got a few videos and a few shorts on it. Yeah, that's a fine little parrot he has. He looks like one of those pirates with this little parrot. He's got a couple nice little dogs too, you know. I need to. I mean, Chuck, plain old Chuck. I haven't visited plain old Chuck. You know, we want to talk about the good old boy. You know, the ones that I follow. I mean, hell, I haven't seen Chuck any of Chuck's stuff in a while. Art Waldman, I hadn't. You know, I mean, I can name you some. Just hadn't. Just work, you know, work. The job, work. Anyway. Yeah, the good old days, the good old days, yeah, the good days. Yeah. Yeah, well, God was with us. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I start getting real, I start reminiscing. Uncle says, don't do that. Don't reminisce. You know, don't, you know, I'm me. You know, like Dave Yoda said, I'm just me. I'm me. Well, I'm me. You know, I'm me. And I've told Dave he needs to get monetized. I don't think he's monetized. He's got 10,000 subscribers and he's not monetized. You know, I've told him you need to get monetized. Not that it brings in a lot of money. Oh yeah, when I'm really kicking butt, like I'm putting out some stuff that's getting a couple thousand. I get a couple thousand views a day sometimes. I'm averaging about 1,000 views a day, but I mean, sometimes I get a couple of thousand views a day. I go look at it, made me less than $1. Pennies. Oh, it jumped up $1. You know, at the rate I go, I would get $100 every 3 or 4 months. You gotta have at least, they gotta owe you $100 before they send you money. And the rate I go, you know, every 5 months, maybe. I mean, in a year, I would make, and for all the effort that I put out as far as monetary goes, what I make a day in teaching, or less. Less than what I make a day in teaching. For one day of teaching. So you're not doing it to get rich, you know. And there are some people who've got channels and they got 10, 15,000 subscribers, and they live stream, and they'll do these live streams where they run these live streams that are like 8 or 10 hours, where they come and go on the live stream, and then they have it like looking out a window or looking at an aquarium or looking at a chicken coop or whatever, you know. And then they might get checks of $200-300 a month. But that's big money where they're from. Like some of these channels they're over in the Philippines, or they're over somewhere in the Far East where the cost of living is very little, and they're making a couple of $100, $300, $400, on their channel, and they're living on that. That's big money, and they spend the whole day just doing very little. They got a live stream running. They sit there, they talk, they make little comments and everything, welcoming people, thanking people. Sometimes they get a little super chat where somebody's, contributed $1 or $5 or whatever. That's their income. All right, Little Lone Prepper, thank you. So I got 6 in the house. Looks like I got 15 likes, 7 in the house. So I'm going to go ahead and tell everybody, when you get up in the morning, thank God for the day. You don't know how long you have. I just turned 63. Drink your coffee. I drank a cup of coffee while I was doing my live stream. This is Coffee Talk. Say the Lord's Prayer. Take your medication. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Hello, Devil Dog Prepper. You're coming in at the tail end, Devil Dog. I'm getting ready to leave, but I appreciate you coming by. Devil Dog was one of my giveaways. He did a nice video of it. I sent him a package here recently, and appreciate him for his service. He's had some health issues. So all that being said, everybody have a blessed day. I will try to be back tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. for another edition of Coffee Talk. And I appreciate y'all. Take care and God bless.